Okay, so you're talking about conditions, right? So let's do a program here. Okay, so I'm going to write a program, WAP, write a program to find some average of the subjects marks and calculate the grade, let's say. Okay, or and check if pass or fail. Let's say we'll do later grade and check if pass or fail, right? So how do you read marks in 3 subjects? I'm going to say input of, not input, input of enter the marks in subject 1, right? And then you will say enter marks in subject 2, 3, so on, right? And here we'll mark as 3, 2, okay. And here I'll call this as 2 and 3. So remember what data type will input give us? Input is going to give us only
String.
a string. Input is not going to give us int. Okay, it's going to give us string. We have to convert into, okay, we have to convert it into integer. Okay, so how do you convert into integer? You have to say int of, right? Int of. You have to say int of. This is how you convert the given string to integer. Okay. Okay. Now, when you find total, okay, how do you calculate total? You calculate total by adding all these 3 values together, right? So you will say here total equal to M1 plus M2 plus M3. This is your total, right? Okay. Now, average, how do you calculate average? The average is going to be your total by 3, correct? So, okay, so write a program to find sum an average of 3 marks. So first we need to input 3 marks. So your program, okay, is made up of 3 parts. Any program, okay, any program, okay, is made up of 3 parts. Which are those 3 parts? Your input, okay, where you need the value, like any program, right? How do you or what do you need, right? If I ask you to do something, right? I ask you to um, go and run, let's say if I tell you. So you'll ask me, okay, how many kilometers should I run? Where should I run, right? So you cannot perform anything without input data. So if I ask you to find if the student has passed or failed, so first question you'll ask me is, okay, how many subjects are there, right? How, because see, pass or fail depends upon the total marks obtained. So you need to know how many subjects are there. Based on subjects, you will be able to know how many marks one has to get. Like subject is 3, then if at 40%, you need to get 120 marks. If you're, you have 5 subjects, at 40%, you need to get 200 minimum to pass, right? So you need to know how many subjects, how many marks. Okay, so this is called input. Okay, so first thing is input, then you process. Process is the brain. Okay, processing is the brain of programming. Okay, so so if you have the input, obviously, see, if you do not have anything to process, then there is no need of writing a program. Okay, you are writing a program because there is something that you cannot do it, or it is not easy to do it. That's why you are asking computer to do it for you. I'm trying to find average of 3 marks, right? Or if the student is passed or fail. So for that, I need values. So these are your input. You need 3 values. Okay. Without that, you cannot proceed. So this is input marks in 3 subjects. If you do not have this, I do not give you this, then you cannot, right, calculate total or average, isn't it? So I need to give you these values. Okay, so this is input. Okay, now after you get input, okay, after you get input, next step is to process. Okay, so you process. So process is like calculating total and average. Okay, is this it, or is there something else also that we need to do? So see, forget about programming. Programming is the way we work, right? Now, if I ask you that I give you marks of 3 subjects, now you tell me the student has passed, overall student has passing mark or not. Then how will you do it? So first thing is, obviously you will say that, okay, give me marks in 3 subjects. I give you marks in 3 subjects. Then what will you do? Tell me, this is a question. Then what will you do? You'll calculate total.
Yep.
Okay. Then you'll calculate average, because average is 40. So you're calculating 40. After that, till you got average. Average is, let's say, 42. So now you need to check with 40. Come on, you see, you have to speak. If you don't speak, then how will you understand? Okay, let it be wrong or right. Doesn't matter. You need to think. When I ask you to think, then you should think. When I ask you to give me an answer, you have to give me an answer. Okay. Anyways, we are not able to see each other, right? So your voice can only I hear, right? How will I know whether we understood or not? I'll be done with my syllabus. Okay. It might take 1 month or 1.5 months or maybe 2 months. That's not the point. Point is that you need to learn, right? If I go to third topic and if you don't understand first and second, then it becomes difficult to go to third topic, right? So if you don't respond, I will not know whether you know it or not. So you need to respond.
Yeah.
You need to tell me that, okay, yes, this is what you think. Then only I will know, okay, that you have understood, and now I can ask you more questions, or I can proceed to the next topic. Okay, so okay, so average is total by 3. Okay, great. Is it enough, or do we need to find more value? Do you need to think more, or are you ready to answer?
It's fine. You can go ahead.
We need to check if it's pass or fail, right? So we need to add an if clause.
Sorry, I missed that. What did you say?
We need to check if the
You need to
marks
check the
have been.
condition. Yes, exactly. You need to check. So getting pass or fail, okay. Okay, sorry. Getting total or average is only half the work done, right? It's only the half work done. You need to check whether, you know, it has met the requirement or not. Did it meet the requirement of minimum 40% or not? So you need to perform the check, isn't it? Check. Okay, so that is also part of your thinking only. Right? Okay. So how do I check? So I will check here. If average greater than equal to 40. If it is greater than equal to 40, these are all your process thinking. Then you're going to print output. Okay, so I didn't write here, right? Output. Output is what you will tell to your question, people who ask you a question, right? So I know, okay, that if this is the value, okay, this total is the value you calculate by sum of a total number of subjects. And then you check for the value. If it is more than 40, that's when you will say output. This is what people expect from you. What? Okay, you have passed. Right? Else, you will say, else is also part of processing. Okay, so else, oh, it's not more than 40. This becomes false. Okay, if this is false, only you'll go in. So output will happen when average or if, right? If condition becomes true. If condition becomes true, only then you will move ahead. Otherwise, you will go to else. When if is false. When if is false. Right? So this is how you will do input, process, output. Okay. Now else we can have, okay, print. You have failed. Okay. Okay. Now let's do one thing. Now let's write a program, okay, to check if number is positive or not. How do we check a number is positive or not? Tell me. How do we check if a number is positive or not?
Lesser than or equal to 0.
Less than or equal to 0. So you have to take a number and check if that number is less than equal to 0 or not. So what I'll do, I'll move to next page and then we'll keep on adding details here. Okay. So here, write a program to check if a number is positive or not. Okay. Okay. So I will take a number. I will say num1 equal to int of input, enter a number. Okay, enter a number. So number is now entered. So that value is in num1. Now I need to check if this number, what you have entered, is it true or not? Oh, sorry, is it positive or not? So to find positive, I need to check the value, okay, greater than 0. And if it is greater than 0, okay, that if greater than 0 is true, then you will say it is positive, else you will say it's not positive, correct? So I'm going to say if num1 greater than 0, not equal to. 0 is neither positive nor negative. So I cannot club, I cannot say 0 as positive. So it has to be greater than 0. Okay, it has to be greater than 0, right? Okay, so I say it is greater than 0. Okay, now if it is, so this is the thinking that you are going to do. If this is greater than 0, then I need to print saying that it is positive, right? So if num1 greater than 0, then you say print, or I can use f string here. F string, you say num1 is positive. Okay. Now when I run it, I say 1, so 1 is positive, right? I run and I say 15, and you say 15 is positive. Now when I run, okay, and here I give 0, nothing will happen because we have not given else condition. Okay, we have not given else condition. Now else condition is not given. Okay, else condition is not given. So it's okay, right? Else is not mandatory. Just that if your condition becomes false, then you cannot do anything, isn't it? So if condition becomes false in this case, you are not getting any output. You're not getting any output here. Okay. So if num greater than 0, we say positive. Now, if you want to put something in the else, okay, you say else print. I'll copy and paste here. Is not positive. Okay. So this is about, okay, how to handle just one condition. Okay, just have if, and if you have two condition, you just say if and else, right? There is nothing in between. There is no option in between, right? Okay. Now, sometimes we need to check for 3 conditions, 4 conditions, 5 conditions, 10 conditions, right? In this example itself, if you see, okay, in this example itself, if you see, we have to look at 3 conditions because your one, it is positive when it is more than 0, negative when it is less than 0, okay, and it is 0, okay, neither positive nor negative when it is 0. Okay, so in this case, we have to look at 3 situation, right? We're talking about 3 situation in this case. Now, just give me 1 second. Sorry, guys. Okay, so you have num1, okay, which is positive, of course, but I said if it is less than 0, then we have to make it as negative, isn't it? So, but else I cannot use it because else will include even for 0, right? So if I say next time when I run it and when I enter 0, okay, it goes to, okay, else. So I cannot directly say not positive. I need to handle 3 condition. Now to handle 3 condition or more than 2 condition, whether it's 3, 4, 5, we use what is called as elif. Okay, we create what is called as elif. Okay. Okay. So how do we handle elif? Elif is handled used between if and else. It's called elif, short form for else if. So if, else for 2 condition, and if you have more than 2 condition to handle, you say elif. So if you have 4 conditions, you'll have 2 elif. So if you have to deal with only 1 condition, you will use only if. If you have to deal with 2 condition, like if it is this or otherwise is like else, then you have if and else. But anything more than 2 condition, we use elif. Okay, so here if you say elif, okay, num less than 0, then we say print, okay, negative. Okay. So if a num1 is greater than 0, it is positive. If num1 is less than 0, it is negative. Else, num1 is, okay, neither positive nor negative. Negative. Right? So see, you have been able to meet all the three conditions. Num1 greater than, if is short form, okay? Less than 0, negative. So now when I run it and I enter 0, it will give me, okay, this becomes false. Then it comes and checks here. See, this is like having one apartment with multiple rooms. Okay, first you check, is this in this room? No. Then you will go and check in next room. Is it there here? No. Then this is the default room. So this default room will be printed. If these two, if you do not find it here, you will find it here anyways. Okay, so if indicates beginning of a condition. Okay, you can have multiple ifs. Okay, each if is a beginning. Elif is a continuation of if. Okay, elif cannot be the starting condition. Elif has to be after if only. So it's a continuation of if block. So if you look at the, as terms of statement, okay, this entire thing, okay, this entire thing is one statement only. Okay, you have you should have beginning, your condition should begin with if. Your condition should begin with if, and it should end with else. If you have only one condition, there is nothing to be nothing to end, right? But anything more than one, it needs to end with else. And if you have more than, obviously, most of the time you'll have more than two conditions, you will use elif in between. Okay, this is another example. Now, let's say I want to talk about another program. Okay, see, I'm writing program, I'm talking about this so that, when you practice, you will be able to, okay, practice and understand. Okay, see, this programming is like mathematics. When you see the answer, when you look at the values, you will feel, oh yes, it is easy. Okay, but when you start doing it, that's when you'll feel challenged. You will not know what is happening, what steps should come, right? Just like your mathematics steps, when you look at a maths problem, you'll understand every problem, and you think, oh yeah, it's easy, right? There's no problem here. But when you start solving it, that's when you get stuck. What after this, right? So that's why I would suggest you that you practice. Okay, how do you learn maths? You learn by practicing. Okay, so this is like mathematics. You have to learn using practice. If you do not do program, okay, if you do not practice, you will not learn. Okay, and after like 5, 6, 7 classes, I'm going to get into advanced topics. We will not have time to learn these basic. So if you are not understanding, if you have any problem, you can stop me, ask me question right now. Okay, after 5, 6 classes, we will be talking about advanced concepts, and then you'll get lost, and you will not be able to cope up with that. So more and more you practice, more and more, okay, you will become better at programming. Make sense? Okay, so let's talk about next program. I'm going to write a program to check if a number is odd or even. Now you tell me, what logic should I apply? How do you know if number is odd or even?
Divisible by 2.
Divisible by 2. So how do I check if it is divisible by 2 or not?
Num percentage equals to 0. Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Then it is I've done this.
Right. So what is percentage by 2 give you? What will percentage by 2 give you? Louder, little. Little
Remainder
louder.
should be 0
Percentage by
when
2 will give
divided
you
with the 2.
remainder. So what does it indicate? That means if you are dividing,
Remainder is 0, then I think it's even number.
yes. I'll move this here. So I'll take a number and I'll input the value from the user. Okay. And okay, so I'll just enter the number. Now I'll take this number. So I'm saying if this num1 mod 2 equal to 0, right? So if you divide the number and you take the remainder, okay, if it is 0, that means it is divisible by 2, correct? It is divisible by 2. Okay, so if divisible by 2, then it is odd, correct? So sorry,
Even
it is
number.
even. Yes, so I'll say your f num1 is an even number. Okay, and I'll say else I'll say odd number, correct? So now when I run it, I'll check 15. 15 is odd. But what if I give 0 or something? Or like 0 is even, so 0 should be fine. What if I write -1 or -2 or -3? -2, 3. Okay, here if I give, so if I say -2, okay, so -2 divided by 2 will again be 0, right? So you can see that it is even. But is it even? No, let's say we only talk about, let's say, even number, sorry, the positive numbers. So in this case, what we will do is we will check before that number is odd or even. Sorry. Before we check odd or even, we have to check whether it is positive or not, right? If it is negative, if it is less than 0, right? Negative values, then we will say, sorry, we cannot check. Right? So first, we need to check. Right? So I will check. Okay. So you forget about what we have done. Okay. First, we will check if this number is positive or not. So how do we know? So if num1 greater than equal to 0, so can be odd or even, right? else. Print negative numbers are not fit or whatever, right? Fit. Okay. So I told you to forget about this, right? Okay. So before we check if number is positive or not, we need to check, sorry, before we check if number is odd or even, we need to check if number is positive or not. If it is 0 or positive, only then you will check. So this is one condition. Now, whatever we do here, okay, whatever we do here inside if, it means that we are talking about situation when everything is positive. We are talking about situation when it is positive. Yes or no? Right? So I can check this here inside, okay, this. So this if is inside this if. You understand what I'm doing?
Yeah.
So first I'm checking if it's positive or not positive, then it go to else. It will not even go inside. If it is positive or 0, then it goes inside. Now I'm checking. So this if is inside the outer if. So now when you run it, okay, so I'm going to say -5. It says -5, this becomes false. When it is false, it will not go inside this if. These are all inside if. These are all inside if. Yes, with me? So these are all inside if. That means if this is true, if this is evaluated to true, only then this will be even touched or checked. If this itself is false, if the main gate itself is locked, then you can't go inside, isn't it? If this is false, it will come here. Okay, if this is false, it will come here. Otherwise, it will go inside and you will check if it is, positive, sorry, even or odd. This is called as nested condition. You can have any level of nesting. You can have if inside if, then another if inside this if, another if inside this if. It can go on like that. Is it clear, everyone?
Yeah.
So only one yes I heard.
Yes, sir.
Two I heard. Was it Preeti or Sushmita?
Sister.
Yeah. So anyway, you have done this part. So I'm expecting Preeti to answer. Preeti, are you even listening? Preeti has logged in and I think she went back to sleep, I guess. You're on mute. We can't hear you. Okay. Probably she will hear her name in the recordings if she watches the recording. Okay. So I'll do one more exercise, but I also want to give one assignment. So first I'll give an assignment and then I will do exercise. Assignment is, Uh, Input a number and check if it's positive or negative. If positive, check if the number is divisible by 2 and 3, 2, 3 and 7. If it's divisible by 7, then check if it's even or odd. If it's odd, check if it's greater than 100 or not. Okay, doesn't make any sense, but I just want you to try all these combinations. Okay. Okay. Now, this is the assignment. Try to do that. The program which I want to do is, let me put it here. Okay, the program that I'm going to do here is, okay, take average and assign grade based on A if AVG is greater than 85%, B if AVG is greater than 75%, C when AVG is greater than 60%, D if AVG is greater than 40%, and E when AVG is less than 40%. Okay, so before that, I'll check. Take average and assign grade. Take average and check if pass or fail, and assign, and then assign. Then assign grade based on this. Okay. So first I need to check if the student has passed or not. So what I'll do, okay, first part I'll copy from our previous program that we have done, right? There's no point of rewriting, correct? So I'm going to go and copy this. Okay. So total average. Okay. Now what I said, if they have passed and then assign grade. So here it's easy, right? You have failed and grade will be E here, right? Because less than 40 grade is E, right? Grade E. So we have said grade also E. This is done, easy. Okay. But now we need to check for here. If it is more than 40, that means they will get either grade A, B, C, or D. How will we check? We will check here by putting. So you have passed, and then I'm going to say if AVG is greater than equal to 85. So you will say grade A. Okay. elif FVG greater than equal to 75. That's what it says, right? 75, then 60. 75. You will say print, oh, there's no percentage here. Grade equal to B. Right? Now again elif AVG greater than equal to 50. Okay, we say grade C. And now the last condition else. Okay, now here you see anyway the else is going to be bit less than 40 and greater than less than 50 and greater than 40. Why greater than 40? Because here we are checking more than 40. So all these will execute only when it is more than 40. Okay, only if it is more than 40, only all these things will be executed. If it is not more than 40, then you don't expect all of these to be executed. Correct? Then you don't expect all of these to be executed. So when I say else, it means that it is more than 40 for sure. Okay, so it is more than 40. Great, great. Okay, now you tell me one more question. If I enter, say, if I give total, if the average is 90. So if average is more than 90, you get grade A, correct? Grade A will be printed, right? So will grade B be also printed? Because here I'm saying average greater than 75. So this is also condition is true, isn't it? So do you see that you will have grade A, B, C all printed here?
Yes.
Yes? Answer is no.
No.
See, you are checking here. If this is true, then you'll come out. You will not check for next elif else because all these are part of one single block. So if you found your answer, if you're looking for keys, okay, you went and you checked in your drawing room and you found it. So once you found it, you're not going to check in the bedroom again or kitchen again or other rooms again because you already found it. The moment you find it, you will come out at the end of else because this entire thing is one house. If to else, okay, this if to else is one single thing. So if you don't find here, you'll go check here. If you don't find here, you go and check here. But if you find here in the first occurrence only, that means you have, your if else is done and you come out of complete if else block. So you come out of if elif else block. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. This is what we say as nested condition. So work on the assignment and you show me tomorrow. Okay. Okay. So we will practice more conditions. Okay. Once we cover next topic, which is loops. Okay. What is loop? Loop is iteration. You're doing multiple iteration. Now we are moving to loops. So I told you yesterday, right? Loops are when you execute same block of code. Okay. Shall we continue for next 15-20 minutes? Are you okay? Or you think it's too much for today? It's up to you. You tell me yes, we will continue. If you say no, we'll stop. Yes or no? Venkat? Venkat, you there?
I think, are you able to hear me now?
Yes, yes, I can hear you now.
I was on mute. I was talking, but
Oh, okay, okay.
yeah, I'm good. We can continue. No issues.
Okay, okay. We'll continue
Yeah.
then. So loop is when you execute same block of code more than once, right? So let's say here, okay, um, uh, you have hello. Okay, I say print hello. Okay, now I want you to print hello 10 times. Okay, so one option is you copy and print 10 times, right? But when you print it, you have to go and check if it is 10 or not. You can make mistake of 8, 7 or 11, 12, right? You have to do the counting. But if I tell you to do 100, you have to do it 100 times, isn't it? So that's not a good idea. We need something which will do the counting for us. Okay, we need something that will do counting for us, right? Which can do counting for us. Okay, now how do we do that? Okay, so that's where we use loops. So there are two types of loop in Python. One is called for loop and the other is while loop. So when you know exactly how many times you want to repeat, okay, the for loop is used when you know exactly how many times. Exactly okay. Now a while loop, okay, is used obviously when you don't know how many times, but you know when you don't know how many times, but you know a particular condition till when to run. Okay. So for example, okay, if I ask you, okay, um, read the book, right? Now, if I ask to read the book, so you'll ask me like, what should I do, right? So I can tell you that read till page number 10 or read till page number 20 or read till page number 100. Okay. No. Okay. No. When you know a particular condition till when to run. Okay. So I will tell you read page number up to page number 100, page number 200. So here I know exactly how many pages to run, to read, right? So I'll say page number 1, page number 2, page number 3, page number 100, done, you are done. But second situation is where I tell you read the page number till you find answer to this question. Okay, so here you don't know how many pages because it could be just one page or it could be 200 page, right? So there could be multiple pages you might have to read, or you might read just one pages, right? Okay, but you are talking about a particular condition, right? So that's how we say that you have to repeat till you know how many pages or till, okay, a condition has to be given. So what could be problem with these two? What could be the problem with for loop? The problem with for loop is when you don't know exact page number, or you don't know exact how many times, and you make a mistake. Let's say, okay, you get your answer after 20th loop, 21st loop, you get the answer. You get answer at 28th loop, right? But you get answer at 20th loop, okay, but you run till 18 loop or 19 loop. So will you get your answer? No. Okay. So for example, the same book example, if I tell you to read till 100 pages, okay, to get your answer. But let's say answer is on 101st page. So you will read 100 pages, come back to me saying that, oh, I read 100 pages, but I did not get my answer. You did all the hard work, one small page, one more page, you would have got the answer. But if you do not give the correct condition, this is what happens. You don't get the answer. So here, if you do not give the exact page number or correct page number, you will not reach your destination, or you will not reach your objective. You need to know exact number. Problem with while loop is, okay, if you give condition wrong, then you'll go on forever. There is no way to stop. For example, I tell you, okay, read this book till you get the solution, but I referred wrong book. So you'll keep reading, you'll keep reading, you'll keep reading, but you will never get an answer. So it is so important. Okay, it is so important to know the exact condition. If condition is wrong, it will get into infinite loop. With me? Okay. So now let's do an example here for loop. So I told you that I need to print this hello 10 times. So I know exactly how many times. So this is a good example for which loop? For loop or while loop?
For loop.
For loop. It is good example for loop because I know exactly how many times to run, 10 times. See, you can implement either ways, okay? Once you learn this, when you are expert, you can implement this using while loop also. But that is not going to be very straightforward, okay? It's not going to be very straightforward. You will have to, okay, okay, go through some extra step. But it is easier to do this using for loop. So I know that I need to run 10 times. So I'll use for loop. So let's see how for loop is used. So for loop uses for keyword. While loop we will use while keyword. Fine. So you have for keyword. Now for keyword, after for you need to add a value which will do the counting. Okay, which will do the counting. So I'm going to say for I. Or you can use any variable. Okay, you can use I, you can use k, count, line, whatever. So for I will do the counting. Now count what? Count the value from 1 to 10. So I'll say for I in range 1 to 10. Okay. So, okay, you need something that will generate the values. So range will generate the values for us like 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. And I will take the value count. Oh, 1 is done now. Okay, 2 is done now. 3 is done now. 4 is done now. 5 is done now. So 10 is done now. Okay, then you stop. So for I in range, okay, 1 to 10 will generate values from 1 to 10, and we will be able to do the counting. So here for is different, for is separate, I is separate, in is separate, and okay, your range is separate. So range is going to generate the range of values. I is a variable which will take the value from range of values using in, and for will make sure that I takes value one at a time. In one iteration, it takes only one value. Two iteration, it takes only two values. So each of the four things are four different, okay, and we are putting them together. Okay, so here, okay, I need to understand how range will generate values. So before we get into for condition or for loop, let's understand how range will generate values, and then our life will become easy handling for loop later. Okay. So I'm going to put this for loop in comment for now. Working of range function. So range generates range of values. So example, if I say here, okay, range of 3, 12, 3. I say range of 3, 12, 3. What does it mean? It means start from 3, go up to 12 and increase by 3. Okay, so range will take 3 values. Range takes 3 values. Okay, range, okay, takes start, end, and increment. So your range function takes 3 values, takes 3 values. Okay, start indicates, okay, the starting value of the, okay, start indicates the starting value of the series. Okay, ending, end, okay, end indicates last, okay, but one value. It's like up to end, not including. Up to end. End is not included. Okay, end indicates last but one value. So up to end. Okay, so if I say 5, that means go up to 4. If I say 12, that means I'm saying go up to 11 only. Okay, I'm saying go up to 11 only, not up to 12. So it will print up to 11. Okay, and your count increment will increase the start value. Okay, so if I say here range 3, 12, 3, okay, what is the first value? Start value. The start value is 3, so 3 will be printed. What will be the next value? 3 plus 3 increment. It will always be increment by 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, right? So I'll say 3, then I will say 3 plus 3, 6. Okay, I will say 3, 3 plus 3, 6. Then I will say 6 plus 3, 9. Then after 9 will come what? After 9 will come
It will only print until 9 because after 9 will come to all. Right?
Yes, of course. Because we said up to, right? Up to means it will go up to 12. So 12 will not be printed. So I told you, right? It's up to. So if we had 13 here, then 12 would have been printed. But since we are writing 12 here, this 12 will not be printed. Only up to 11 is valid. With me. So this is how range works. Okay. Now range can have just two values. If you see range with just two values, that means it has start and end, no increment. Okay. Increment is default 1. So if I say range 3 comma 8, then what will I get? 3, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So range is going to generate values from 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. You can have range with just one value. If it is one value, then it is end. Default start is 0 and increment is 1. So range of 5 will generate value 0, comma 1, comma 2, comma 3, comma 4. With me? Okay. So now if I use range here in for loop, how many times this range will run the for loop? So if I use here for I in range 3, 12, and 2, okay, I can uncomment this. So I'm saying for I in range 3, 12, and 3. So this is going to generate values obviously from 3 to 12 at the multiple of 3. So you get 3, 6, 9. So how many times this hello will be printed? 3 times. If you want to print hello, and I'm going to say, and the value of I is I. Okay. So see, it will print hello, value of 3. Hello, the value of I is 6. Hello, the value of I is 9. 3, 6, 9. So this is going to print your hello only 3 times. If I'm going to use this, and now I will use 3, comma 8. 3 comma 8. Okay, so I will say hello there just to differentiate from that other hello. So how many times this is going to run? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 5 times. I can put just one value in range. So I'll put 5 here. Okay, I'll remove hello there from here. So this is going to be 5 times. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It will not include 5, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, this is how we use range in for loop to generate or execute something more than once. Okay, so we'll stop here today. Tomorrow when we meet, we will look at some basic example of while loop, and then we'll get deeper into for loop and while loop. Okay, any question before we wrap up?
Good.
Good. Okay, sure then. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow, same time.